Okay, this is for the ecobees that are set up with the hybrid heat pump systems that we are commonly installing. So what we're finding is ecobee likes to send updates that unfortunately change a lot of the settings. So I'm going to make this video that way if it's acting up, you can just reset everything to how it's supposed to happen. Okay, so menu, a little gear, and let's go down to settings, installation options, equipment, reconfigure equipment. Get started. You can pick Pro, understand, skip that, only RC is connected, single speed, this is not correct, so we are going to click no and modify. So if you do have one of the hybrid heat pump systems, you will have a W2 wire, a Y, a Y2, and an OB wire connected. If those aren't selected, then the system's not going to work right. Next, this is if you have a humidifier, which in this case we don't have one on here. If you did, which I can go back, so I'll just select one accessory, humidifier, which is one of the things that ecobee seems to like to change on us, and then select one wire ACC plus. Or we don't have a humidifier in this system, so I'm going to go back and disable that. Okay, so your heat pump is air to air. You want the reversing valve on heat. Here's the other thing they love to change. Allow the heat pump to run with the auxiliary heat. You always want that disabled. Okay, they like to change this too for heat pumps, unless specified by me. Always pick 40 degrees. That's the cutoff line for when it'll switch to your natural gas. So what kind of heating, furnace. How do you want the finger to be controlled? Always select furnace. Okay, so that's that part. Then you want to select your auxiliary furnace and then make sure that it's selected HVAC, not ecobee. So we're going to go back then to thresholds. Okay, first thing you want to do is disable the auto heat and cool unless you like that feature. Most people don't. That just allows you to set a range temperature, but around in our climate you'll be running the heat in the morning and the cooling in the afternoon, so we'll disable that. Okay, so configure staging, you want to select that to manually. That's another thing that ecobee likes to change through their updates periodically. Okay, so the auxiliary max temperature, you can put that up to 70. That really has no effect. All that does is limit when the furnace is going to shut off per the outside temperature. The next one, AC overcool max. Depending on how more humid you want it, all that's going to do is run the AC at the absolute lowest setting. Most houses I sit at 2, but if you're worried about it getting too cold on you in the middle of the night, you can do 1 or even turn it off. That's just for dehumidifying. Heat differential temperature, want that at 1. Heat dissipation auto time, always set that to 0. ecobee thinks that they're going to save you money by running your fan longer. It doesn't. Your furnace does that for you. That can be the same. Cool differential, you want 1 degree. Cool dissipation time, you want that at 0. Never have that on. When your AC shuts off, your evaporator coil is soaking wet. If it runs the fan longer, you're just blowing that water and it'll evaporate and just blow back into your house. So always leave that off. Unless specified, all these temperature deltas, leave them on automatic. The thermostat will learn that for you. Okay, so that's everything you need to change on that. Lastly, go to Eco Plus. If you have one of our hybrid systems, never ever have Eco Plus turned on. It's one of those money-saving features, but what ends up happening, they raise your temperature or lower your temperature depending on the current weather situations. And then when the thermostat allows it to turn back on, it'll end up just going right to high mode, which is not the most efficient option. You're better off having it at a set temperature and leaving it there. That is pretty much it. So hopefully this video helped. Any of the customers that call me with any issues, I'm going to be sending them a link to this.